advise the Ugandan Parliament not to go through an election and disregard the letter from Yala?
Right, Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, if you allow me to study this matter, render a written opinion, confer with the CTC at Arusha, and understand what the issue is from their perspective, then we can render the necessary guidance. Right now, you have a letter that the Yala has given, and I'm sure the Parliament is well within its right to proceed with that. But we shall confer with them and guide them, because we think there is a misinterpretation of the law in that regard. Thank you.
In the meantime, I will put a question for the verification team. I put a question be approved as a verification committee for the purpose of Yala by elections. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Honourable Speaker, I think we really are just trying to draw this House to not find ourselves running into a legal brick wall. So I actually do concur with the Attorney General, because our colleagues, the two colleagues who are current members of Yala and have now been elected to the 12th Parliament, are not MPs yet, until they do swearing. Because what happens if, for example, God forbid, okay, let me use a lighter one. If, for example, court decides to throw one of them out before they swear in, somebody petitions and the matter is heard summarily, and no, the God forbid was for something worse. So I decided to use a lighter one. To say if any of these is thrown out, and so they don't get to swear in, they will not have become members of Parliament. So it's very important that we are careful with the law. These colleagues will become MPs after they have sworn in. But also, Right Honourable Speaker, I have seen a communication by the CTC, the clerk to the community, which is actually disagreeing with the community. These two members have become members of Parliament of a partner state. Why? Because the swearing in has not happened. So there is quibbling now between the Speaker of Yala, the clerk to the community, and then there is us here proceeding with these matters. So I think we need to just wait it out a little bit and not be in a hurry, so that we are on the right side of the law. Honourable Speaker, the other issue tethered to that as well, you did mention that only colleagues belonging to the NRM can be nominated.
I did not say only colleagues belonging to the NRM will be nominated. I emphasized that the colleagues that lost are NRM. I am an authority in that.
And I don't doubt that you're the Speaker of Parliament.
No, I am saying I am an authority because I took Parliament to court.
No, actually, the ruling is the authority. But Right Honourable Speaker, here is the issue.
The ruling is the
I
authority,
do agree, you're the one who...
I am the one who took it.
Yes, and the ruling that was given becomes the authority. Here is the thing, though, Right Honourable Speaker. So, you know that the rules were altered. Previously, the opposition had slots. There were 2 slots. So the NRM colleagues would choose their 7, and then the opposition would choose the 2. So the rules were altered. So it's very possible for the opposition to actually have representation at Yala, or like is the current state to have just one, who we are also not too sure whether he is with us or with the colleagues on the NRM side. But that's for another day. The point is, somebody says we'll do a DNA. The point is, he is just one. Previously there were 2. If he had not gotten the threshold of the votes that would enable him fall within the 9, there's a very possible situation that we can have only NRM colleagues representing us at Yala. That's a problem, because now the slots that previously belonged to the opposition were taken away. So if now you have the voting as it happens, And our colleagues say, no, we should send just the NRM people. After all, we have the numbers. So the opposition doesn't get to be left out. I would like to urge this parliament to address that matter too, because it's important. In fact, in the past we were saying only 2, that's too little. But now that was taken away as well. We are all here, and the same way we are all here, it's important that all our voices are at the East African Legislative Assembly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Members, this is not a matter. Before we get an opinion or before we get a letter, there are only 2 things that can stop us from having the election: a contrary letter from Yala or a court order. But for now, we are proceeding. Honorable members, Mr. Carroll and the whole community service officiated by His Grace the Archbishop of Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Samuel Kazimba Mugalo, and it will be in our main hall. Honorable members, the sectoral committees are currently scrutinizing the ministerial statements, and I want to urge you to do that and finish the work and report back on the day that has been stated. Once more, I welcome you and nice deliberations. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much,
Kira.
Right Honorable Speaker. I thought if you allow me to use the window of responding to your communication, there is an ongoing demolition under the name of trade order throughout the country. You may have seen images of women crying and young people. The National Planning Authority, Madam Speaker, of the working population at 15.8 million, 13.3 are in the informal sector. With this good government that is giving people PDM,
There's a procedure.
Madam Speaker, with due respect to my honorable colleague, the matter he's trying to raise is not in any way part of your communication. We are not in the matters of national importance. So I'm wondering under which procedure is he trying to sneak in the matter that he is raising now of traders. Thank you very much.
Was it part of the communication?
Madam Speaker, the rules are vast. If you have read one...
Honorable Semuju.
Yes.
We are going to go into matters of national importance. I was still waiting for a reaction on matters that I have raised.
Speaker.
I am still ruling. I was still waiting for matters arising out of my communication. Now that there are no matters arising, I will start with the Honorable Achut on matters of national importance.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise to Kam North, Clay South, Omoro County and Tochi County on a matter of national importance in regard to construction of the Kona Bohe, Kona Yeri, Chemebobi Road as part of the AFCON project. Right Honourable Speaker, in the next 1 year, Uganda will be hosting AFCON. And part of the commitments from government was on certain critical infrastructure projects. One of them was a Kibwa Stadium, which will be linked to the Gulu Airfield through the Kona Yeri, Kona Bohe, Ichemebobi Road. We are aware that the process for procurement was initiated and the contracting process also went ahead. We had approval by the Ministry of Works, clearance by the Solicitor General of the Ministry of Justice. However, the process stalled in the Ministry of Finance. We have been informed by the Ministry of Works that there has been a change in priority and this project is going to be dropped. Procurement has been done, contracting was ongoing. It is like reaching at the marriage altar, you've exchanged the vows, then you're told there is no ring to put on the finger. Right Honourable Speaker, we want to call for an urgent intervention on this matter, and we want to pray that, one, the Ministry of Finance clarifies whether this project has indeed been dropped, because it was cleared by Ministry of Works, cleared by the Attorney General's office, Solicitor General's office, and now we are told at the Ministry of Finance it has been dropped, yet there was already a contractor that has been found in place. Right Honourable Speaker, for information from my colleague from Oyam North, Dr. Eunice, where it also traverses.
Thank
and
you.
Honourable Court. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Eunice.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Further to that, and I would like to thank Honourable Chuti very much for elaborating in detail progress or the lack of progress on that road. Honourable Speaker, the President himself, during his recent pledge, during his recent campaign tour in Oyam North, but also in the neighboring districts in the north, pledged to have this road tarmacked as a matter of priority. We also had a number of meetings, Honourable Chuti and myself, with the Minister of Works late last year to urge our communities, both in Kole and in Oyam, and also in Tochi, to accept, to sign or to enter into an agreement with government by signing a commitment form or commitment forms to allow compensation to take place after the works have started. So it baffles me, Honourable Speaker, and the communities of Oyam and Kole, that this project, which is really important, can be left for time. So I would like the House and you, especially Honourable Speaker, to urge or to direct the committees in charge and also the ministry in charge to prioritize this in this current budgeting process. Thank you very much.
Right Honourable Speaker, since Honourable Opio alluded to the fact that the delays are being occasioned by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and in the House we have Honourable Henry here, I would give that pass to him to tell us. But substantially from the point of government, that road, Aboke, Ngai, Bobby, remains an AFCON road. We have not yet made any contrary decision. We are all aware that the delays are being occasioned at the point of signing the contract between the contractor, MS Samco, and the Ministry of Works. And to some extent, that delay, as you have alluded to, they allege is being occasioned by the Minister of Finance. Maybe I invite him to tell us.
Finance. The Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, let me check with my team to find out where the challenge is.
Okay, and you report back in 10 minutes. Honourable Kimosho. There is a motion.
Madam Speaker, this motion is moved under Rule 64 relating to adjournment to allow discussion of a matter of public importance. And the matter, Madam Speaker, is the ongoing demolition under the name of
Rule 64 is on withdrawal of motions. Honorable Kimosho. First get the right rule.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, I rise on the matter of national importance about the overflooded Ugandan market. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, the market is overflooded with illicit alcohol that is not approved by regulatory bodies, that is advertised as most of them are advertised as energy-giving drinks. On most of the radios, they tell men that when they drink, they will be like horses in bed, and it is becoming a public health danger, Right Honourable Speaker. And women are meant to be convinced that it enhances their marital exercising. Some women, thank you very much. Some are naturally gifted. Right Honourable Speaker, this issue has exacerbated the already worst situation of the non-communicable diseases. When you're moving around some villages, you see people's cheeks swollen, and you think they are growing in size when they are being affected by some of these drinks. You had allowed me, Right Honourable Speaker, to table some. If you accept, Right Honourable Speaker, I have some samples here.
Have you tested them?
Right Honourable Speaker, it is very difficult for anyone to say they have not tested, because sometimes it's a requirement in the field. But personally, I have not. But Right Honourable Speaker, this is a very serious matter, and if you allow me, I can table some. Right
Please do.
This is called kombucha. Honourable Reynolds knows. This is called officer. This is called jaja. This is called torero. This is called sabura. This is called buganda. This is called hero. This is called chituzi. This is called buhweju, from where Honourable Minister comes from. This is called diplomat. This is called LC5. This is called kabiriti. This is called sanyuka. Honourable Kabanda wants to test sanyuka. This is called boda boda. I have so many Right Honourable Speaker here. This is called that you take it, you understand things better. This is katochi. This is Uganda kombucha. This is Leo. This is Leo. This is Hanewaraj. This is Mpenkoni. This is Kazero. This is Club 5. This is coffee flavored vodka. This is work. And you know what they are insinuating when they say this is work? This is called embatura. At least I was able to get these. And they don't form quota of what is on our market. Some of them have the logo, but you cannot confirm that they are certified. So, Right Honourable Speaker, my prayer is that Minister of Trade,
Procedure, Right Honourable.
Yes, a procedure.
Procedure, the products, Right Honourable Speaker, the products that are being displayed here by UNBS. It would be, I don't know if it was possible for him to give us exactly which one he's complaining about and whether there is some research done to show that that is the one that is affecting Ugandans. It will be important, other than putting all of them here on the floor of Parliament.
Honorable Akol, these products are a danger to human life. Let's stop protecting, even if they have been verified. But these are a danger to human life. Unless you're Lope is the one on the floor. Lope is on the floor.
Right on about the.
Because you're tall. Lope is on the floor.
I had to extend a little bit because Honorable Akol has an interesting history in this house. Right, Honorable. I think we need to find some kind of middle ground. This is a very important issue. Of course, we also have got to be careful not to be dragged to court if it is.
I wish we could hear his prayer. He had a prayer.
Maybe I can tie it in.
He did not finish his prayer. Then you tie
No
in
problem.
your prayer.
And one of my prayers is that, Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister of Trade, first of all, brings a list of the certified, NBS certified products. Because while members argue that some have NBS logo, some are fake logos. So we need NBS to be on record on what is UNBS to be on record what is certified, what is of quality, but also, Right Honourable Speaker, we need to be...
And what is not of human danger.
Yes, we also need to know the ingredients of these, because they make people behave indifferent. So we need to know, we need to know, Right Honourable Speaker...
Order. Members.
And where need be, Right Honourable, we can subject them to government analytical laboratory, especially for those that have not been approved by UNBS. But second, Right Honourable Speaker, UCC should limit the method and the way they advertise. Because when you advertise that, when you take it, you can... It's a misleading advert. When you...
Honourable members, can we have some order? And I want to tell you that the bill that we are going for, the National Drug Health Products Authority Bill, touches some of those things.
Yes.
That pretend to be.
And
yes.
Some of these, Right Honourable, when you follow radio stations, they are advertised as health drinks. And for me, that is misleading. And indeed, for anyone who has taken alcohol, when you drink, you think you are powerful. But as it gets off from you, That's when you realize you are very weak. Now, what about this one that is not even tested, not certified?
Thank you.
So-
There's information here.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank my colleague, Honorable Chimosho, for raising this matter. The information which I have to give this House is that the Uganda Alcohol Association actually released a report that shows that out of the alcohol that is on the market, 40% is actually illicit alcohol, worth around 6 trillion. So this matter is not only a danger to health, but also it is costing government a lot of money in form of taxes. So it is a double jeopardy for government, that you have to treat people who are suffering from the effects of this. You are losing a lot of revenue, and therefore we need to have both the Minister of, that should be both the Minister of Trade as well as Health to take interest in this matter so that we can protect our people.
Thank you. Honorable. Okay, Law.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to rest my case and to
Law.
carry away my things.
Thank you. Yes.
Honorable, when you submit evidence, you cannot withdraw it. Right Honorable Speaker, in 2023, I was chairperson of COSASE. I presented a report to this House, which was adopted unanimously. Among others, this was about UNBS. And we discovered massive corruption therein. They certify products that do not warrant being certified because of bribery and so on. That report led to the dismissal of the then executive director, and we hoped that reforms would be carried within that entity. I don't know what's happening therein. I just wanted to emphasize the point that sometimes a product can have a UNBS certification, which is actually from UNBS. Forget those who forge those certifications, but some could be from UNBS, but then they don't meet the threshold due to the corruption that we discovered in UNBS. But perhaps what needs to happen as a way of products out there that meet the certification, so that we don't lump them together with those that don't warrant being on the market. We need to charge Ministry of Trade, and perhaps together with the Ministry of Health. I see the Minister of Health is here, because these are health concerns. Maybe Ministry of Trade has got certain limitations that Ministry of Health would help to come in, because people will keep dying if we don't do anything about it. So I'm told there were some people who were taking some of those things. After, I think it was Minister of Health that said, don't take these things, you'll keep getting blind. And so they were in a bar somewhere, so they got blind, and they kept taking and said, even if you switch off the lights, we shall continue taking. We need to save our people. So Ministry of tethered with Ministry of Trade, hopefully they can come in quickly. And then we do not, because we also don't want Parliament to be accused of frustrating certain genuine businesses out there. There could be some genuine ones, obviously, but there are those that are not, that are causing harm to our people. Honorable, these issues normally happen in our local communities. The Shadow Minister for Local Government is requesting to give information.
Thank you so much, Law, for giving way. Right Honorable, I wanted to inform this House that last year in September, Honorable Muwuma moved a bill over this matter, and it's called the Food and Nutrition Bill. We are among the seconders of these products on the market, even what our children consume, and we have realized several gaps of the certifications. So we are praying, because we are being hindered by Ministry of Finance to offer us the certificate of financial implication to cater for all these gaps we have seen in our communities. So we are praying that through you, Madam Speaker, Ministry of Finance gives us this certificate so that this issue is handled. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Through you, Right Honourable Speaker, I would like you to request the Ministry of Trade or the people responsible to also include these energy drinks, because what Honourable Chimosho has brought here is actually quarter of what is happening in the country. You have very fake energy drinks. Some of them, I don't want to mention their names, but they have very dangerous names: Sting, See Me, Touch Me, I Touch You. Right Honourable Speaker, these energy drinks are very dangerous. I request that through you direct the minister responsible to also include these energy drinks. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Aro?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
I'll give you a minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Allow me to thank my colleague, Honourable Dan Kimosho, for bringing up this motion. Right Honourable Speaker, my concern is majorly on the content. Most of those drinks have alcohol content more than 50%. I'll take you through. When you're taking club beer will have 5% alcohol content. A small bottle of 5 mils will have a content of 50% alcohol, meaning a villager or a common man consuming a 5 mil bottle is almost consuming more than 50 bottles of club in a minute, and that is endangering. I would therefore call upon the Minister of Health to look into the content of the products being made. Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Jonah?
Right Honourable Speaker, the primary responsibility of any government is to protect its citizens. This problem is not only limited to drinks. In this country, I think here on the record of Parliament, government has been invited to look deeply into the issue of consumer protection. In Uganda, we do not have a comprehensive law on consumer protection. Almost each and everything that we have in this, there is an element of fakeness. The accidents we are having, the tires coming into the country, the fuel, even the medicines that people are consuming in some areas, they are being made around here. You go to Milanobo, made in slums around here. So what the government should tell us, and I want to thank Honorable Dan Kimosho, that this evidence you have laid here clearly demonstrates the lack of will on the side of government to protect its own citizens, that gives them money that sustains development in this country. So would it now be proper that the government addresses us on how it plans to bring in a comprehensive consumer protection law that will deal with all the aspects outside the issue of these drinks that my friend, my brother is well experienced with, that I'm yet actually to know what they actually do. Thank you.
Honorable members, we passed a competition act which has that element of consumer 2024, but maybe we need to improve it better. In the public gallery this afternoon, we have staff from the Directorate of Research Services of the National Assembly of Kenya. We have Mr. Chelang. Mr. Chelang is head of delegation, the acting chief research officer. We have Mr. David Ngeno. Welcome, thank you. We have Mr. Charles Atamba, the principal research officer. We have Mr. Eric Karieuki, research officer 1. You're most welcome. Join me in welcoming them. We also have, still in the public gallery, we have staff from the Department of Security and Risk Management Services of the Parliament of Namibia. We have Mr. Evans Simasiku, head of delegation. You're welcome. We have Mr. Lucas Shefika, senior security operations. Welcome. we have Mr. Onesimus Namwanji. Welcome. They are here still on the benchmarking visit. Most welcome. Join me in welcoming them. In the VIP gallery this afternoon, we have members of Parliament-elect. They have come to observe the proceedings. They include Honorable Eroko Alex Irona from Bunya County. Welcome. Honorable Amongin Jen Francis from Kaberimaido. You're most welcome. Honorable Arinaitre Geneva Nalongo from Rubirese. You're welcome. Honorable Musingo Patrick from Kashari. Welcome. Honorable Babanga Wilfred Erima from Honorable Nyeko Johnson from Lamo. Welcome. Honorable Joyo Harriet from Obongi. You're welcome. Honorable Katusime Adrin from Shema. You're welcome. Honorable Ojit Peter from Pingire. You're welcome. Honorable Kataike Noel Matlida from Budaka. You're welcome. Honorable Tibiase Peace. You're welcome. Honorable Etilu Margaret from Amoria. Amero. Yes, you're welcome. Honorable Gwal Joseph Jones from Dokolo. You're welcome. Honorable Kimba Emmanuel from Bukoto County. Welcome. Honorable Kibaju Charity, Mbarara City. Welcome. Honorable Nabaduka Annette from Kivale. You're welcome. Honorable Chom Esther Lucy from Serere. Welcome. Honorable Kasule Ismail ANT. You're welcome from Oima West. Honorable Twinamasiko Onesimus. Twinamasiko Onesimus OB. You're welcome. Kaliba from Nakaseke. Welcome. Honorable Sewa Gude Robert, persons with a disability. Welcome. Honorable Mulemia Ismail Sowedi from Busia. You're welcome. Join me in welcoming them. You're almost welcome. Honorable member, can we hear from the minister? This is a very serious matter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
First, I
thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Are you raising on procedure, order, or what?
Right Honorable Speaker, it's a small correction. I had you introducing a member from Bukoto West, yet I am the only representative of Bukoto West in this house. So I just wanted you to be...
Okay, he's from Bukoto, Midwest.
So much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the... I had feared,
He's called Kimba Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable.
Okay. I love the way people are protective of their constituency. We are protecting the gains. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First, I want to thank the Honorable Chimosho for raising this important point. I'm also wondering why he did not bring Mukama Nayamba and Mukomboti. He deliberately left them out. I don't know for what reason. Madam Speaker, the I want to make this point clear that it's not about the name. It's about the content in the bottle. So we are not going to harass people because they have called them kombucha or what. But what is in kombucha is what we are concerned about. And I want to let you know that we have a huge problem which we are addressing, the problem of counterfeit and fake goods on the market. And I want to agree with the Honorable, I think it was the Honorable Jonathan, who raised the issue of a comprehensive consumer protection bill. It's true we passed here a competition bill, but we also promised the House, Madam Speaker, that we are coming up with consumer protection bill. But I also want to inform you that all these products, as long as the product has a sign of UNBS, it means that we have, it's okay. The problem which we are having is people get certification from the UNBS. Then when they reach the factory site, they go and do other things. Example is when something happened in Arua. You remember when 28 people died. We had given this factory a certificate, but when they reached in the backyard, they started producing something else. So we are cracking down on these people who are producing things that are fake on the market. And we want to appeal to all Ugandans to be alert. And in order for us to strengthen the enforcement, we have formed a committee that involves, even at the district level, RDCs and internal security to help us fight the issue of counterfeit and fake products on the market. So, Madam Speaker, we are working on it, and both on the policy level, but also implementation in terms of enforcement.
Honorable Minister, you're saying that UNBS verified and tests. But if UNBS does that, you've given a very good example of Arua. Then what happened? Because now, as UNBS, you're supposed to continue doing surveillance to ensure that there is compliance to what you tested.
So, Madam Speaker, on the issue of Arua, I've given you that example because we tested and we gave certification this person producing that liquor. But when they reached in the courtyard, they started producing something else. So what was coming out of that factory was both the one that's certified and another product. So it's an issue of enforcement which we are doing. We all need to be alert, including citizens, that something which has no UNBS on the...
There's an order. You know, as Parliament, we should not continue lamenting. We make the laws. The implementation is not on us. Let the responsible bodies implement. And we protect the human beings outside there.
Yes. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I did bring the alcohol control bill to this House. And what we are discussing today is the reason why I had moved that bill as a private member's bill. Right Honourable Speaker, to protect the health of Ugandans, aware that we have illicit alcohol in this country, but also, Right Honourable Speaker, as we speak now, there is no law.
What is the order?
So, Right Honourable Speaker, is it in order for the Honourable Minister to come and tell us that they are doing everything possible? Actually, they are the ones that actually filled that bill in this House. My brother, the Attorney General, was here, and they raised a matter that my bill had a financial implication, and that's the reason why that bill was shelved. So, Right Honourable Speaker, is the Minister in order to tell this House that they are doing something?
You have only diverted the debate. If you want to bring your bill and continue with your bill. Don't divert. Yes, Honorable Nankabirwa.
So I wanted to propose, Madam Speaker, that we are going to take all these samples mentioned here, test them, do a market survey, and ensure that we have a robust reinforcement to get them out of the market. Thank you.
Honorable Attorney General, they are also talking about the consumer protection bill and the counterfeit. When do we have that bill in the House?
Right, Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleague, that bill has already been drafted. The first drafts have already been done, and consultations are ongoing. But just for clarification from Honorable Opendi, what this bill is discussing, what we are discussing here, what people drink, not the time they drink. So if you left these bad things to be drunk at night, they would still kill people. So your bill was this. What drink?
Honorable Elijah, we are looking at the content, not the time. Honorable Elijah.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker. There are two issues of national importance, Madam Speaker, I'm raising here. One is an issue raised by the sugarcane growers who have petitioned or have asked this Parliament and the government.
Yes, procedure.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I thought you'd give guidance on this matter so that we conclude it logically and know who we are holding accountable, when, and no, we did not conclude. He gave us a statement that is
He's going to bring a report. He's going to bring a report on which products have been verified, who is responsible. He's also going to have these products tested. Unless, you know, Babyface is sitting next to you. I think you got taken over by Babyface. So, Honorable, give us a report. We are going to have this as a substantive item in the next sitting. Let's first.
Right Honourable. Right Honourable, you highlighted, you yourself, you indicated that about the capacity of UNBS to track down on some of these certifications they make. As the Minister comes back, can he report to us on matters of capacity of that institution when trusted with our people, whether they are capacitated to do the work or not? Right Honourable Speaker.
Okay. Yes. I'm a Catholic.
Madam Speaker, I also wanted to emphasize the same matter. UNBS might be registering and signing all these companies, but in Uganda, people want to make money. Once you have weak supervisory role on these companies, small-scale industries, they will continue producing what makes them earn money. And the establishment of UNBS at regional levels, all areas that you can carry out area supervision through the budgeting system, Madam Speaker, by the way, we shall not solve any problem, because a businessman will use any advantage to make more profits as long as he reduces on the cost of manufacturing his products. And that's where UNBS becomes very weak, because they are not fully established.
Elijah, let's be brief and we'll go to next item.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Like I was saying, Right Honourable Speaker, the sugar cane growers request this House to help. The Right Honourable Prime Minister wrote a letter, 17th March 2026, wrote a letter that was emphasizing one that had been written on the 7th of February 2025 by the Minister of Trade.
Yes.
Regarding the issues of way bridges. They are concerned, they said they were not consulted. Their issue of having way bridges at the place of sale or in their farms was to control theft by the truck drivers as they deliver the cane to the factories. But now there has been a directive by the ministry that these way bridges should not be there, they should also be installed at the factories. Yet the factories are very far from the farmers. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the request of the sugarcane growers is that can the ministry and government consult further on this matter before they implement and have a thorough interaction with all the stakeholders, and if not, maybe through the Committee of Trade of this House. That's one, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister, before they implement, or it has already been implemented?
I think they are already, I think
Minister.
When the minister issued, I think they failed to implement. That's why the Prime Minister now reinforced with another letter. I think now they are taking it up. So they request that they have the bridges at the factories, some of them coming from very far, but also they were all protecting the truck drivers from selling the sugarcane on the way, because when they are taken to the factories will not allow them to know, to check on the weight in the factories. So that's why they are requesting that the Committee of Parliament helps them.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, you know that sugar is sweet, and this matter has so many issues in it and has so many stakeholders. We have been at it. Yesterday, the Prime Minister issued an instruction to us. I would request that you give us some 1 or 2 days. We come and make a statement on the steps we are taking to resolve this matter.
Okay. And when you're taking those steps, you need to involve the stakeholders.
Madam Speaker, will involve all the stakeholders.
Thank you. Yes.
The final one, Right Honorable Speaker, is the matter for which first of all, I want to thank the President and the government for having taken the position that they are going to compensate the people of Lango, Acholi, and Teso 5 cows each. We want to thank him for that. But the concern is in relation to a letter that's written on the 23rd March 2026. That was on Monday by the Permanent Secretary, Madam Dr. Amina Zawede of the PS for the Ministry of Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance, and directing that the village chairpersons do update the household registers for the households between 26th and 5th. This is less than 10 days. I just called the cow of Serere and the one of Sor. They have not received this letter. Now, if you are giving them just such a short time, they will not be able to have this verified. That's how we always have had problems. So my request is that, Right Honorable Speaker, that this office extends the days for the parish chiefs to update and give them
the letter is in relation to the cows.
Yes, implementation of the restocking programs using PDMIS, Right Honorable Speaker, and it was written on the 23rd March 2026 to all cows, clerks, and signed by the Permanent Secretary.
Okay.
So.
Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, in relation to the chairpersons of Acholi, Lango, and Tesu, who were invited when the cabinet was discussing this particular issue. To date, even in Acholi sub-region, even in my district, I am not aware of these 10 days given. And I think it would be right that the days need to be extended and the right communication need to be sent to the relevant people. Otherwise, the villages that should be registered and the household sent will not be perfect. And at the end of the day, there will be a lot of complication, the same way we've been suffering on this issue all this long. I think it is important that this should be addressed.
But even when the president was giving that pledge, he did not limit only to Acholi, Lango, and Teso. Bugisu was involved, Bukedi was involved, including Karamoja, and some parts of Busoga. They were all involved. So if we are going to do that, all the places that the president pledged must be considered. Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, I recall on the 8th of January, or thereabout, this year, there was a communication from the office of the Prime Minister on the same, which had directed all the chief administrative officers to file the list of all households to be paid 5 cattle per household. And payment would be made before the 15th of January 2026. Now we are seeing another letter purporting also to handle the issue of the payment of the 5 cattle per household. Would the government first clarify who is the direct contact person within government? Is it the office of the Prime Minister? Is it ICT we are seeing here? Is it the Attorney General? Because these multiple letters coming from different stakeholders, I don't know if it is to mock, if it is to enjoy the cattle that were looted, the cattle that were stolen, for which many people in Lango, Teso, Acholi, and Bugisu missed to go to school, missed opportunities in trade, missed so many things. So when you are talking about this cattle, it's beyond the letters, Madam Speaker. It is beyond the letters.
Thank you. Let's not start that debate now. Government Chief Whip.
All right, Honorable Speaker. Let me respond as follows on the matter of restocking in Teso, Lango, and Acholi. In the financial year 2025-2026, which is soon ending, there is 80 billion Uganda shillings meant to kickstart the process. An Ministerial committee chaired by the Prime Minister, where a number of relevant ministries have been incorporated. The letter read by Honorable Cooper is talking about PDMIS, that is the PDM information system. And that is the system that government will use to do this restocking. Now, the old program for restocking, apart from the 80 billion available in this financial year, requires 8 trillion Uganda shillings, and that will be rolled out to more than 1.6 million households in Teso, Lango, and Acholi. And the implementation has been rolled out to 10 years, where every year there will be a budget. On the issue of the letter Honorable Dur is talking about, it is true that we had made progress as government, and with the 80 billion shillings available, government wanted to kickstart the process. But during the campaigns of His Excellency the President, when he came back to Lira City for the rally and Kole, I believe he had picked some intelligence to the effect that that letter had resulted in 2 most districts picking people from the list of those who went to court. And yet, the restocking will now take care of all executive authority and halted the process. Then we again came back to cabinet. The matter was discussed. As I speak, that letter must be part of generating the relevant information. We will start with families like the one of elders, persons with disabilities. The vulnerable families will be those that will benefit from the 80 billion. This is how, Right Honorable Speaker,
Thank you.
I can respond to the matter of restocking.
Thank you.
So,
Honorable Elijah, that is enough.
I want to lay on the table this document.
We have.
Should clarify which
you
office
can share it from behind the curtains.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. But Honorable Obua should clarify on that, which office is really handling this matter.
Interministerial.
But there's a lead ministry. Please.
The lead is the Prime Minister, who chairs the interministerial. Right Honorable
Yes.
Speaker, there was a prayer on extending the period. I believe that is a valid point. We have taken it up. We shall notify the ministry.
Bua extending the period and the area according to the pledge of the President.
Right Honorable Speaker, the issue of cattle restocking, to the best of my recollection, applies to Teso, Lango, and Acholi. What you are talking about, for instance, in the case of Busoga, let's understand, I'm giving you privileged information. The compensation in Busoga are majorly victims of Lakwena insurgency, and that is also being handled by Office of the Prime Minister. Yes. So don't mix. So do not mix and match.
Next.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the motion I had earlier requested to move is under Rule 66. That will need to be withdrawn. And say an adjournment motion, Madam Speaker, to discuss a matter of urgent public importance. I had stated the matter, the ongoing almost countrywide demolition, violence of kiosks and structures. Madam Speaker, as I said earlier, you may have seen images of traders crying. In some areas, like in Chile, they have given a one-day notice, and the following day they are demolishing. So, Madam Speaker, that's the motion that I am seeking to move for Parliament to first set aside the business we are transacting to deal with this matter that is causing a lot of cries in the country, countrywide.
Honourable Member, you're saying it is countrywide. What I'm saying is in urban areas, and what is being done is a trade order. But for me, I've not seen it in Bukedea. So when you say it is countrywide, what we can do, we can put it on the next sitting. We debate that issue, we discuss it, but before we debate it, we would ask the minister to come with a report. We will not adjourn the House. We will not adjourn anything. Let's continue with the work, the proceedings as it is, but we'll set a date. The next sitting, Mr. Kema, put it on the order paper. The minister must bring a report to that effect.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The reason I am using Rule 66, by the time you put it on the order paper, people's structures will not be returned. People are crying. They may not be crying in Bukedia, but I have seen here those who are crying for cattle are also crying. These ones are crying for businesses that are being demolished. They can't pay school fees. And the rules say this matter should be debated today, not at the next sitting. That's what the rules say.
Honorable member, as an area member of parliament, get in touch with the minister directly. We will not stop work in the house because there are so many things. Well, next item.
Item 3 on the order paper, laying of papers, alternative policy statements for the financial year 2026-2027, Justice and Constitutional Affairs.
Honorable members, Rule 154 of the Rules of Procedure requires the shadow minister to submit alternative policy statements to Parliament by 29th day of March. And because of what we explained in the last sitting, we will now invite the leader of opposition to delegate his various ministers to submit the policy statements, alternative.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, Rule 153 of our Rules of Procedure provides that ministers shall, by the 15th day of March, present to Parliament ministerial policy statements. Meaning it's mandatory for the ministers on this end. Then Rule 154 provides that shadow ministers may provide alternative policy statements by the 29th day of March. Round Speaker, may would presuppose it's optional. Even though it is optional, Round Speaker, we consider this duty a cardinal duty and very important, and that's why on an annual basis we present alternative policy statements in time. So it is mandatory for our colleagues on that end, it is optional, but we still do it because it's important for our country to see what an alternative would look like.
Anything?
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker. Before 1 o'clock today, I came to your office to indicate that I have an issue to raise as matter of national importance.
Let's just leave Honourable Ngola to raise what she wants to say.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. On Tuesday night, 24th March this week, heavy rains with very strong winds devastated Igoti village in Aganga Parish, Ibuje sub-county, Apache district. Was devastated, was destroyed to the ground, leaving one person, and that is a young girl of 6 years, and several others injured. Besides that, a whole roof for 2 classroom blocks was blown off. The situation is not good. 34 households were affected. I appeal to the ministry or the office of the Prime Minister to come to our rescue, because we need cement, we need iron sheets and other materials. I beg to submit.
Honourable members, I want to request you, when you have such things, kindly just walk to Honourable Abe. She's always available, and she picks the phone all the time you call her. Honourable Abe.
Right Honourable Speaker, I take note of what has been raised by my colleague, and I need details of the person, the family members of the person who died, those who are injured. As you are aware, normally we support
First of all, our condolence to the family for the loss.
Normally we support the family of the deceased with 5 million shillings and 1 million to support treatment for those who are injured, and also the iron sheets that she has.
Okay. You could also get a disaster report from the district. Honourable members, Dr. Chut, I've got your note. The minister is going to respond to you.
Honourable Speaker, I'd really set the stage, so do allow me to invite my colleagues, the shadow ministers, to table the alternative policy statements.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay on table the alternative policy statements for the Shadow Minister of Justice, Constitutional Affairs for the financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Defense and Veteran Affairs.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Defense and Veterans Affairs, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for financial year 2026-2027 for the Defense and Veterans Affairs sector. I beg to lay, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you.
East African Community Affairs.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 154 of the Rules of Procedure, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the East African Community Affairs for the financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Gender, Labour and Social Development.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development for the financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Health.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, in accordance to the rules of this House, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the health sector for the financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Technology.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the Digital Transformation Program, ICT, and Anti-Corruption Sector fiscal year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Internal Affairs.
Madam Speaker, on behalf of the Shadow Minister, Honourable Betty Namboze-Wachireke, I lay the alternative ministerial policy statement for Internal Affairs sector, financial year 2026-2027. I lay.
Thank you.
Kampala Capital City Authority and the Ministry of Kampala Capital City and Metropolitan Affairs.
Again, Madam Speaker, on behalf of the Honourable Balimwezo Ronald, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for Kampala Capital City Authority and the Ministry of Kampala Capital City and Metropolitan Affairs for the financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Lands, Housing and Urban Development.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for Lands, Housing and Urban Development for the financial year 2020.
Thank you.
Education and Sports.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the education and sports sector 2026-2027.
Thank you.
Energy and mineral development.
Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Shadow Minister, Honorable Kanyike Ronald Evans, I hereby beg to lay the alternative policy statement for energy and mineral development sector for the financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Agriculture, animal industry and fisheries.
Right Honorable Speaker, as the Shadow Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Foreign affairs.
Right Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the rules of procedure of Parliament, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the sake of foreign affairs for the financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Presidency.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the Presidency and Office of the Prime Minister financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Public service.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable, on behalf of the Shadow Minister for Public Service, Honorable Adek Anna, and in accordance with our Rule 154, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the public service sector. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Local government.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the local government sector for the financial. Thank you.
Tourism, wildlife and antiquities.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the alternative ministerial policy statement for tourism, wildlife and antiquities sector for the financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Trade, industry and cooperatives.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay alternative policy statement for trade, industry, cooperatives and microfinance affairs sector for financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Water and environment.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the alternative ministerial policy statement for water and environment for the financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Works and transport.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for works and transport sector fiscal year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Alternative policy statements are referred to the relevant sectoral committees for consideration.
Item 4 on the order paper.
Can we get a feedback from Honorable Musasizi before we go to the next item?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I have cross-checked with the team at the Ministry. It is true there is a pre-financing arrangement for design and build of the Aboke Road. However, Madam Speaker, the Attorney General advised clear the contract but put a condition that Article 159 of the Constitution must be followed. And what does Article 159 require? That we process the borrowing and bring it to Parliament for approval. In order to achieve that, we need clearance. There is a condition that the President must clear the borrowing. So we have written to the President and we await feedback. Thank you.
Okay. Next item.
Item 4 on the order paper. To introduce a private members bill, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill 2026.
Honorable members, Article 94, 4B of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, and Rule 127 of the Rules of Procedure grants members a right to move a private members bill, and Honorable Javira wants to exercise his right and is ready to move his motion. Please do.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise under Rules 121 and 122 of Rules of Procedure to move a motion seeking leave of Parliament to introduce a private members bill entitled the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill 2026. Right Honorable Speaker, whereas Article 79 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. You said you rise under Rule what? Rules 121 and 122 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament of Uganda 2025, Right Honorable Speaker. Whereas Article 79 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda to make laws on any matter. Can you correct your rule? It is Rule 127, not Rule 21. Rule 127 is on a private member's bill. Rule 127(1), a member has a right to move a private member's bill. Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Since we amended the rules, I had used the previous ones. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable, can you use the right rule? Right Honorable Speaker, I rise under Rule 127 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament to move a motion seeking leave of Parliament to introduce a private members bill entitled the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill 2026. Whereas Article 79 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda 1995, Parliament empowers Parliament to make laws on any matter for peace, order, development, and good governance of Uganda. And whereas Article 94(4)(b) of the Constitution and Rule 127 of Rules of Procedure of Parliament of Uganda permits Parliament of Uganda to move a private member's bill. Aware that Article 153(1) and 154 156 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda 1995 require all revenues and other monies raised or received for purposes of or on behalf or in a trust of government be paid into the consolidated fund and withdrawn only under the authority of an Appropriations Act or the Supplementary Appropriations Act. Further aware that, notwithstanding Clause 1 of Article 153 and Clause 2b of Article 153 of the Constitution permits a department of government to retain revenues or other monies for purposes of defraying the expenses of such a department through an Act of Parliament. Noting that the Public Finance Management Act Cap 171 was enacted to operationalize the constitutional framework for management of public finances, including the consolidated fund and the appropriation of monies by Parliament. Further noting that, Right Honourable Speaker, Section 27(3) of the Public Finance Management Act Cap 171 authorizes state enterprises and public corporations through revenue collected or received in form of levies, licenses, fees, or fines. Aware that appropriation is defined in Section 2 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 171, to mean an authorization made under Appropriations Act permitting payment out of the consolidated fund or petroleum fund. Therefore, the appropriation referred to in Section 27 of the 3A of the Public Finance Management Act is not possible for any funds that are retained by collecting agencies. Further aware that in 2015, government initiated a process of consolidating government accounts into a single treasury account to streamline treasury operations, cash management, and consolidation of government fiscal position at Bank of Uganda. Noting that many state corporations, enterprises, statutory authorities, and other entities currently collect and have their budgets and supplementary budgets approved solely by the line ministers and governing boards under their relevant acts, and therefore spend substantial own source revenues outside the consolidated fund, thereby weakening Parliament's exclusive powers of appropriation. Concerned that the exclusion of certain authorities and statutory funds from the consolidated fund has contributed to a reconciliation variance of approximately Uganda shillings 4.3 trillion between the government consolidated fund statement and the consolidated statement of appropriation, because some budgets are treated as appropriated and yet they are not executed through the consolidated fund. Further concerned that a significant deposit of public funds have accumulated statutory funds account of public corporations, state enterprises, and authorities, some of which are used to provide loans to staff and to invest in fixed deposits and government securities, including treasury instruments, which government as original investor in these entities continues to borrow and seek finance elsewhere at market rates. Considering that this fragmented and extra budgetary treatment of large public revenues creates parallel fiscal space parallel fiscal space with limited parliamentary oversight and undermines unity and credibility of national the country to risk of revenue leakage, inefficient resource allocation, potential financial loss of government through avoidable interest costs. Firmly convinced that, Right Honourable Speaker, there is an urgent need to amend the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 171, to require all revenues collected by state corporations and public enterprises, statutory authorities and other public entities to be deposited in the consolidated fund to ensure that monies are not spent without parliamentary approval. I now therefore
to ensure that such monies are not spent.
Right Honourable Speaker, for purposes of, let me repeat it, firmly convinced that there is urgent need to amend the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 171, to require all revenues collected by state corporations, government enterprises, statutory authorities, and other public entities to be deposited into the consolidated fund to ensure such monies are not spent without parliamentary appropriation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Parliament grants me leave to introduce a Public Finance Management Act, the Public Management Amendment Bill draft, of which is attached to this motion. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the draft bill entitled the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill 2026. I beg to lay.
Seconded.
And Right Honourable Speaker, I also beg to move.
Seconded. Seconded by Honourable Mara, Honourable Teira, Honourable Rita, Honourable Kavanda, Honourable Dennis, Honourable Jara, Honourable Mutembule, Honourable Chris, Honourable Vicky, Linda, Ochan, Apio, Akol, Omara, I mentioned you, stop standing. Sentai, Baka, Honourable Magogo, by the hollow side, this side. Would you love to speak to your motion?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, and Honourable of consolidating funds. And we are just from passing rationalization bills by this House to ensure that we rationalize all the money to reduce public expenditure. Now the spirit of this bill is to ensure that all money is collected is in one pool for spending. Right Honourable Speaker, our constitution is very clear that all public monies must go through the consolidated fund and spent only with the approval of this House. Number two, this is not, Right Honourable Speaker, a technical rule. It is the foundation of Parliament's control over national resources. Right Honourable Speaker, today, however, we have allowed situations where many public entities collect and spend large sums of money outside the consolidated fund, and their budgets are approved by ministers and their boards, but not Parliament. In a full sense of approval, Madam Speaker, this has created a parallel financial system outside the scrutiny of this House. Right Honourable Speaker, the current law talks about appropriation of retained revenue, but appropriation by law only applies to money, appropriate money in commercial banks, You cannot appropriate money in circles as Parliament. That's the spirit, Right Honourable Speaker, I'm bringing this amendment bill. Right Honourable Speaker, this bill does one key thing. It requires all public revenues go through the consolidated fund and spent after approval of Parliament, and it restores order without stopping institutions from, yes, for emphasis, Right Honourable Speaker, this bill restores order without stopping institutions from functioning. Right Honourable Speaker, this is not about creating a new tax or a new spending. It is about bringing the existing public money under discipline, transparency, and accountability. It is about ensuring that this House exercises its constitutional mandate. In conclusion, Right Honourable Speaker, I therefore respectfully urge honourable members of Parliament, to the 11th Parliament, to give the gift to Ugandans by passing this amendment bill to restore integrity of financial management.
Honourable Herbert, those are the seconders. 1 minute.
I thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand here to second the motion proposed here by my friend, the Honorable Javira, seeking leave of this House to introduce the Public Finance Management Bill, Amendment Bill. Madam Speaker, first and foremost, the gist of the matter is whether or not it is right for the Honorable Member to propose a private member's bill here. He has elaborated that it's a duty of a member of Parliament to exercise the constitutional mandate that they have been given to enact laws for the good governance of this country. Madam Speaker, our bill seeks to ensure that all revenues that are collected by government parastatals or agencies are reflected in the national budget so as to enable better planning and alignment of national priorities. Honorable colleagues, in certain cases when we are processing sectoral ministerial policy statements, these agencies, among other votes, come to this Parliament seeking for us to provide for resources and to run their operations. But they did not clearly disclose to the House how much they receive in terms of revenue that is outside what Parliament allocates. The purpose of the bill, therefore, is to ensure that whatever it is that is generated by these institutions, by these parastatals, is known and disclosed to Parliament while appropriating. Right Honourable Speaker, I believe that even when we speak, the Madam Speaker is listening to us. Right Honourable Speaker,
I am listening to you. Speak.
The current system of fragmented public finances makes planning difficult and leads to inefficient allocation of resources across all sectors. It is the reason why some of these parastatals and agencies appear to be able to perform and attend to their planned activities and mainstream. You're welcome.
Before you go into clarification, I want you to address your mind on Article 153.2. You, the seconder. First address your mind to that. Article 153.2. 153.2. That is on consolidated fund.
Yes, because the clarification I wanted to get from you when we're making this particular law in 2013, 15 or thereabout.
It was 15.
Yes, we captured everything to do with all entities that either collect revenues from the public or receive funding from this particular parliament. Have you listed down the state enterprises you have in mind that you would want to be captured under this proposed amendment?
But also, when you're answering that, you should also look at why did you include in the Constitution that for you to be able to send money to the consolidated fund, there are agencies that you form by an act of parliament that receive their own monies, and if they receive their own monies, are we going to amend the Constitution too for us to remove Article 153(2)?
Madam Speaker, because at this stage, directly with the merits of the bill. For now, we want to persuade the House that it is at this point that the House may accord us the liberty, one, to go and exercise the rights of a member of Parliament to introduce the bill. At the point when we are refining the very details of the bill, we shall provide justification of its necessity. But Madam Speaker, what you have asked me to address in as far as 153(2) is concerned relates to the fact that there is this exception. However, the Public Finance Management Act, in the definition of what is supposed to be in the consolidated fund, or in the definition of what Parliament should do in as far as appropriation is concerned, specifically says that Parliament shall allocate resources that have been provided for in the consolidated fund. Some of these agencies and institutions do come to this House and request us to appropriate to them. Now, if we are appropriating them, it presupposes that we are exercising the appropriation role in as far as the definition in the Public Finance Management Act. But if those resources have not actually gone to the consolidated fund, where do we therefore get the liberty to exercise our power of appropriation? Resources provided within the ambit of the consolidated fund, then it is possible for us to... Yes, Madam Speaker.
Do you have the institutions outside the ambit of 153(2)?
Yes, we do.
That honorable, which institutions are those that are retaining the monies without an act of parliament, that we want them to take the money to the consolidated funds?
Madam Speaker, I have my colleague, the Honorable Otim Gill, who would like to help me elaborate on that. Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you for giving way, Honorable colleague. On some of the entities that you have requested him to highlight, we do have actually on this important bill which is going to come right now, the National Drug and Health Products Bill. I sit on the Health Committee. We do it actually, no, I'm not going to talk about the bill. We did actually the same parliament, not this 11th parliament, enact the National Drug Authority. National Drug Authority actually do not have a vote. We do not even appropriate any monies for them. They collect a lot of revenue and spend it at their own liberty. So I guess that is some of the examples, some of the entities that can fall on that, you see.
AJ.
Right Honorable, I may appreciate the principle that the member wants to raise. However, we need to caution ourselves
not to write a law which will in itself be unconstitutional. Because the Constitution said that all the money will go to the consolidated fund. Then it said, if you want any money not to go to the consolidated fund, Parliament must write a law for that. And it has in some instances. So for you to come and say that now we are writing a law to say no money can go to any other account, that will be contrary to the Constitution. Because the Constitution has said some money can go to other accounts. So I think this bill, this motion, Right Honourable Speaker, will create a problem which is unnecessary. However, if members are saying there are entities which keep money under where there is no act of Parliament authorizing them to do that, that is absolutely illegal, and that entity should necessarily be brought to book. So if a person requires to retain money, it is this Parliament that can make a law which authorizes you to retain money under Article 153(2). So a motion that is being proposed by the Honourable Member would in itself be unconstitutional. I beg to submit.
Honourable Kanya.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Public Finance gives this Parliament all the powers, and the provision in the public finance is categorical. Any organization, any institution that collects money by whatever name, if you collect public money by whatever name, that money is supposed to go to consolidated fund. And if you want to use it, you come and seek authority of Parliament. Madam Speaker, the problem has been we members of Parliament and chairpersons of committee who do not demand, we don't demand this parastatus. Under the law, Madam Speaker, you are supposed to clear all accounting officers. Even if the drug authority, the board appoints an accounting officer, those accounting officers are cleared by the ST Secretary of the Treasury. All their names are supposed to be brought to you here to clear as Parliament. The problem is we, the MPs, who should stand. The law is very clear. Madam Speaker.
What do the MPs do?
No, Madam Speaker. Yes?
What do MPs do? The names that all the accounting officers are always cleared by PAC.
Madam Speaker, what I'm saying, like
don't put a blame on MPs.
I withdraw, Madam Speaker.
We are not the ones who collect monies.
Madam Speaker, I withdraw.
We get a list from finance. Finance gives us a list of accounting officers, and PAC scrutinizes it and sends back to the House.
Okay, Madam Speaker. So you have parastatals like the drug authority. Even that accounting officer appointed by the board is an accounting officer according to the Constitution and the Public Finance Act. They are supposed to come here to clear. If a parastatal wants to retain NTR, they present it in their budget estimate, and then the committees present that to Parliament here to clear. Therefore, Madam Speaker, under the current Public Finance Act, the provision is adequate and is in line with the Constitution of Uganda. Thank you.
Jonah, then Karim.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, I was actually going to oppose this motion on this basis. The general rule is that all monies collected for and on behalf of government should go into the consolidated fund. The exception is that if there is a corporation or an entity that has justification, they will come to Parliament and it's done through an act of Parliament. Now, my basis was, if you allow this motion, you are amending consequentially several other acts where we had already given them power. So if they want to address this, they should actually amend directly those acts of Parliament.
Well, you even amend the Constitution by removing that provision that we should be able to get acts that 153(2). Yes, Jonah, go ahead.
So if for example, I'll give you an example. If we have a corporation called National Enterprise Corporation, which does things on behalf of the government through the army, and they are keeping the money there. So you bring the next act, because in that act so you can try to amend it effectually by amending public and then say all these other entities are also now affected. So if your intention is that no cooperation at all, then compile all those acts of parliament, then amend each one of them, or bring an omnibus, I don't know how it will fit, to amend. But
miscellaneous.
Well, yeah, that's my opinion, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Bahati, then Karim.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the honourable member for moving this important motion about how we can efficiently utilize our resources. But as we speak, I think all the institutions are spending money within the law. There is no institution that is spending money outside the law. If it was doing that, then it would be a crisis. I see the point of the mover, but I also hear what the Attorney General has advised us. And for us not to lose your intention, or is it possible that the mover of this motion can go back and consult, refine it, consult the Attorney General, so that your idea does not just die or the motion collapses under its own weight as we speak? Can we go back and consult a bit?
Honorable Javi, this bill, the Public Finance Management Act, requires a comprehensive amendment. Comprehensive. This is just a small bit of it, but we need a lot of amendments in the comprehensive. I mean, in the amendment of Public Finance Management Act. So, what Honorable Bahati say would be prudent enough for us to do it. Would be prudent, and we'll work together with the government to ensure that we have that amendment.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, and I'm glad that this Honourable House has been able to also observe that there is a gap, because 4.3 trillion is a very big variance. So, Right Honourable Speaker, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to bring this House to understand that the way we passed rationalization bill. Okay.
Honourable members, we have a lot of work. Maybe let me just put members are now. Let me put a question. Put a question that Honourable Javira be granted leave to introduce a private member's bill, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill 2026. Those in favor say, and the contrary nay. The nays have it.
Item 5 on the order paper. Bill second reading. The National Drug and Health Products Authority Bill 2025.
Honorable members, the National Drug and Health Product Authority Bill 2025 was read for the first time on Thursday, 4th, 2025, and referred to the Sectoral Committee on Health. The committee has considered the bill and is ready to report, and I want to request the chair to make a summary of the report so that we will have sufficient time to look at clause by clause. But before that, as per Rule 136(1) of the Rules of Procedure, we will request the Minister of Health to move a motion to that effect.
I beg to move that the bill entitled
the National Drug and Health Products Authority Bill 2025 be read for the second time.
Seconded. Seconded by Taylor. By Honorable Magogo. Honorable Bright. Dr. Achayo, Orone, Isamat, by the whole side, and by the whole house, except the whole house. Yes. Would you want to speak to your motion? The objects of the bill.
Madam Speaker, the object of the National Drug and Health Products Authority Bill 2025 is to establish the National Drug and Health Products Authority, to provide for the functions and powers of the authority, to regulate the manufacture, distribution, importation, exportation, and supply of drugs, medical devices, cosmetic products, public health products, and nutritional supplements, to provide for the administration and enforcement of the Act, and to repeal the Act and amend the Food and Drug Act.
Thank you. Honorable members, in the VIP gallery, we have Honorable Peter Pex, the MP elect for Dodoth. Peter Pex, welcome. Kabong District. We also have a team from the NDA. Dr. David Nahamia, welcome. Honorable Mutasanga. And then Amos Atumanya. You're welcome. They're here to witness the proceedings of the bill. Give us a summary of your report so that we have time to go to committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My colleagues, I'm going to present a report on the Committee on Health on the National Drug and Health Products Authority Bill 2025. But if I present the report, I would like to lay on table, I beg to lay, and also to lay the minutes, beg to lay.
Thank you. Please lay.
The bill is quite long, but I will try to summarize it. It has been uploaded on the iPads. I hope that the members have gone through it. I will not. Honorable Speaker, in introduction, the National Drug and Health Products Authority Bill 2025 was read for the first time on 4th September 2025 by the Minister of State of Health, Honorable Hanifa Kawoya. In accordance with Rule 135(1) of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, the Right Honourable Speaker referred the bill to the Sector Committee on Health for consideration. The committee proceeded to handle the bill according to Rule 135(2), 3, and 4 by examining the bill in detail and made all such inquiries, received and scrutinized proposed amendments that were relevant to the subject of the bill. For the background, I request that members read through, but I will go to the object of the bill, the aims. The aim of the bill is A, establish the National Drug and Health Products Authority, replacing the existing National Drug Authority. B, provide the functions and powers of the authority. C, regulate the manufacture, distribution, importation, exportation, and supply of drugs, medical devices, cosmetics, public health products, and for the administration and enforcement of the Act. E, repeal the National Drug Policy and Authority Act, Cap 198. F, amend the Food and Drug Act, Cap 307. And G, amend the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Control Act, Cap 37. Then we can go to page National Drug Policy and Act, that is the current law. We just go to on the importance of this, how we want to amend. One of them is that there are so many new products such as medical devices, cosmetic products, nutritional supplements, and other related products. Then we have complex drug markets with falsified and substandard products posing a risk of the treatment failure and antimicrobial resistance. And G, there's the global best practices under the World Health Organization, which require broader and more integrated regulation. Honorable members, let's go to, in the interest of time, we want to go through the methodology. You can read the methodology. Then the stakeholders interfaced with, the number of them. We had also recent submissions. We can observations and recommendations. That is on page 9. First one was about certificate of financial implications. The committee notes that Section 74(1) of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 171, and Rule 124(1) of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament require every bill to be accompanied by a certificate of financial implications issued by the Minister responsible for finance. The committee considered the certificate of financial implications accompanying the bill. Then we can go to general observations, which is from page 10, but let's go to page 11, implication of the bill on investment. The observation, the committee observed that certain provisions of the bill may increase the cost of doing business due to multiple licenses that are to be issued by the different regulatory authorities, high fees rising from different applications, and absence of statutory timelines for regulatory decisions. The committee noted that the investors in pharmaceuticals and medical devices operate within strict commercial timelines, and that prolonged processes may affect market entry and increase the risk of product expiry. So the recommendation, the committee recommended the bill should support investment by providing clear statutory timelines for licensing and approval of decisions. B, comprehensive framework that will evaluate and strengthen the regulatory systems of medicines, vaccines, medical devices through empowerment of the authority to license manufacturers, suppliers, distributors, importers, or exporters in line with the global benchmarking tool, that's GBT. C, ensuring that the provision on dual regulation in the bill is amended as by the cabinet principles which clearly stipulate which products should be regulated under the bill. Notwithstanding the above, the committee observed that a number of provisions in the bill require amendment in order to make the law practical, fair, technically sound, and responsive to Uganda's institution and commercial and socio-economic realities. Right, Honourable Speaker and colleagues, on observation for overlapping and duplication of regulatory mandates, we discovered that there are some dual regulations of some of the products. For example, we have some of the products are being regulated by NBS and also by NDA, and that's dual regulation. Most of the stakeholders complained about that. So the committee noted that with concern that this bill was empowering two regulatory bodies, the UNBS and National Drug Authority, to set standards for regulated products under the Act, approved by the Cabinet under Minute 170 CT 2023, which noted that the Ugandan National Bureau of Standards would cede the mandate and regulation of medical devices to the National Drug Authority. B.
Procedure. There's a procedure.
Madam Speaker, under our rules,
Doctor, when there's a procedure, you sit.
Madam Speaker, the rules of procedure grants authority to the chairperson, who is the Speaker, to guide business in the House. Madam Speaker, I wish to move under our rules to seek your guidance, to exercise your authority to manage business, aware that we have several business and several bills that we need to process and complete, and yet we have the budget timeline. Me being a member of the budget committee, we need to clear all reports and present the budget within the time as provided for in the Budget Act. Isn't it procedure correct that you exercise your power for us to move to committee, and then the chairperson will then, and members, debate some of those issues when we are at committee level? Thank you. Save time.
Thank you. Seconded? Seconded by so much for making my work very, very easy. I put a question that the National Drug and Health Product Authority Bill 2025 be read for the second time. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The National Drug and Health Products Authority Bill 2025, Bills Committee stage. Clause 1.
I put a question that clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it. Clause 2 is interpretation. We could start over it and then we come back to it. Honorable members, when we are at committee stage, we want the clauses to flow.
Clause 3.
Clause 3. I put a question that clause 3 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
I put a question that clause 4 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
Chair.
Honorable Chair. Clause 5 is amended in subclause 1. The paragraph F3 by deleting the word unwholesome and wherever it appears in the bill. In paragraph F7 by deleting the words for vaccines, biologicals and diagnostics. And in paragraph inserting immediately after the words medical devices, the words cosmetic products, public health products, and nutritional supplements. Then four, by inserting immediately after paragraph B6, the following: to prescribe standards for medical devices, cosmetic products, public health products, and nutritional supplements. And in subclause 2, by inserting immediately after the word nutritional supplements, the words in accordance with this act and any other applicable law. When we go to subclause 4, in paragraph B, by inserting immediately after the word guidelines, the words in accordance with this act and any other applicable law. In paragraph D, subclause 4, paragraph D, by inserting immediately after the word nutritional supplements, the words in accordance with this act and any other applicable law. Justification: to empower the authority to retrieve drugs that are falsified, adulterated, substantial. To empower the authority to regulate premises where drugs are analyzed, tested, and researched. 3, for consistency in referring to different products being regulated under this bill. Also, to empower the authority to retrieve drugs that are falsified, adulterated, substandard, and expired. Then to empower the authority to regulate premises, I think this was repetition, right, Honourable Speaker, typing error. Thank you, right, Honourable Speaker. I beg to submit.
This is to provide compliance and relevant laws.
Yes. Thank you, Right Honourable Chair. Right Honourable Chair, we agree with the amendments that are proposed by the committee, save for we would like to propose a further amendment to clause 5B4. 5B4 to read as follows: to license the premises on which medical devices, cosmetic products, public health products, nutritional supplements are manufactured, distributed, and supplied by wholesale. I beg to submit.
Chair, Minister, are you okay with that?
Chair, I would also like to propose a consequential one on 51C, to regulate clinical trials for drugs, medical devices, cosmetic products, and public health products, not chemicals.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chair?
I agree.
I put a question that clause 5 be amended as proposed and further amended by Attorney General and the Minister of Health. Those in favor sign the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 5 as amended.
I put a question that clause 5 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor sign the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 6.
Chair.
Honourable Chair, clause 6. Clause 6 is amended by substituting for subclause 2 the following: the directions given by the Minister under subsection 1 shall not adversely affect or interfere with the independence of the authority or the performance of the functions and exercise of the powers of the authority under this Act. Justification: the amendment clarifies that ministerial directions are of general policy the statutory independence of the board in the discharge of its functions and powers. I submit.
AG.
Thank you, Right Honourable Chair. We have no objection to the proposed amendment.
I put a question that clause 6 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 6 as amended.
I put a question that clause 6 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 7.
I want to thank you, Chair, for giving me this opportunity. Chair, we are in the middle of a bill. The Constitutional Court has just nullified the Computer Misuse Act. And one of the issues cited was that voice voting is archaic.
What's the relationship between that?
Honourable Speaker,
Clause,
we are in
clause
the
7. Clause 7.
Honourable Chair.
Clause 7.
Clause 7 is substituted for the following. Board of Directors. 1. The authority shall have a board which shall be the governing body of the authority. 7 members are appointed by the minister. 3. A member of the board shall be a person of high moral character and proven integrity with the qualifications and experience in the field of pharmacy, medicine, law, financial management, traditional and complementary medicine, investigations, biomedical engineering, nutrition, cosmetology, bioethics, consumer protection, or public health. 4. The minister shall appoint a chairperson of the board from among the members of the board. 5. At least a third of the members of the board shall be women. Justification. The bill expands the mandate of the authority beyond pharmaceuticals to include medical devices, cosmetic products, nutritional supplements, and health products, each of which presents a distinct technical and safety considerations requiring specialized oversight. It is necessary that the board collectively possesses expertise the regulated products to ensure effective governance, informed decision making, and the proper supervision of the authority regulatory functions. The clause on gender is to align the bill with the constitutional policy of the state taking affirmative action in favor of women.
Thank you. AG.
Right Honourable Chair, we have no objection to the reduction of the members of the committee from 9 to 7. We have no objection to the inclusion in 7.3, the nature or caliber of persons you'd like to sit on this board. Maybe just to add at the end of clause 7.3, or such other relevant fields, related fields, or such other related fields.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's actually better.
I concur.
Thank you. I put a question that clause 7 be amended as proposed by the chair and amended by the Attorney General. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 7 as amended.
I put a question that clause 7 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 8.
Clause 8.
Clause 8 is amended by substituting for subclause 1 the following. 1. A member of the board shall hold office for 4 years and is eligible for reappointment for 1 more term only. B. By inserting immediately after the subclause 1 the following. is on terms and conditions specified in his or her instrument of appointment. C, by inserting after subclause 3 the following: the minister shall fill the vacancy on the board in accordance with the procedure prescribed by regulations made under this act. Justification: the arrangement of subclause 1 is for clarity, is for the rearrangement of subclause 1 is for clarity and to provide a definite term of office for board members to strengthen accountability and enhance performance while allowing the appointment based on merit and performance. 2, the new insertion is to obligate the minister to fill the vacancy within stipulated timelines under regulations to ensure efficiency in functioning of the board. I beg to submit.
AG.
We have no objection, Right Honourable Speaker, to the proposed amendment.
I concur.
I put a question that clause 8 be amended as proposed. Those in favour say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 8 as amended.
I put a question that clause 8 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favour say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 9.
I put on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 10.
Chair.
Clause 10 is amended in subclause 1 by substituting for the word supervision the word control. Justification: to reflect the proper governance role of the board exercises strategic authority and overall control over the affairs of the authority, while the executive director exercises supervision relating to day-to-day administrative oversight over the secretariat. I beg to submit.
AG.
Right Honourable Chair, the proposal to amend supervision with control can be a bit problematic because it takes away the accountability provision. So this secretariat, the board, and as you come down, everyone carries a responsibility. So when you supervise them, they are responsible for the decisions they make. But if you say you control them, then why do you have them? So I think it would not be good to say that you have a secretariat which is controlled by a board. So I propose that the clause does remain as it is in the bill, to read that the authority shall have a secretariat which shall be under the direction control. Beg to submit.
I put a question that 10 stands part of the bill. Those in favour say aye, to the contrary, nay. It's just common sense that supervision is done, not control. Clause 11.
Clause 11.
Clause 11 is amended A by substituting for subclause 1 the following: the secretariat shall be headed by an executive director who shall be appointed by the board for a term of 5 years and is eligible for reappointment for 1 more term only. B, by inserting immediately after subclause 1 the following: the executive director shall hold office on terms and conditions specified in his or her instrument of appointment. Justification: the introduction of limitation of executive director's term is to strengthen accountability, enhance performance, and provide orderly leadership transition within the authority while allowing for reappointment based on merit and performance. I beg to submit.
Thank you. AG.
No objection, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. I put a question that clause 11 be amended as proposed. Those in favour say on the
11 amended.
I put a question that clause 11 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 12.
Chair.
Clause 12 is amended in subclause 3 by deleting the words and the discipline of the executive director and justification. For clarity, since the clause is providing for regulation of the terms and conditions of service for the other employees of the authority, including discipline of the executive director would cause confusion. Big summit.
AG.
Right Honourable Speaker, Right Honourable Chair, we propose that the provision in the bill stands as it was presented because there is no other provision for the discipline of the executive director. Actually, we are redrafting these bills now to put executive directors under staff because there has been a tendency for the executive directors to think they are not staff of the authority. Because you have a specific clause for them and then another clause for staff, they tend to have a feeling that they are above staff. They are staff of the authority and they must be disciplined by the board. We pray that the provision be, we propose that the provision remain as it stands in the bill.
Thank you. Minister.
I agree with the Attorney General's amendment. You come and concede.
I agree with the Attorney General's amendment.
No, it is not an amendment. It's not an amendment with the... I go on record. It is not an amendment. Concede. You concede.
I will do the amendment right on Honourable Speaker.
And you concede. And you concede.
And I concede.
Okay. I put a question that clause 12 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 13.
Clause 13, Chairman.
Clause 13. Clause 13 is amended by deleting the words in conformity as may be applicable with Uganda Public Service Standing Orders. Justification: to remove ambiguity by enabling the authority to make internal staff rules appropriate to its functions while remaining subject to the Act and other applicable laws. Beg to submit.
Right Honourable Chair and Honourable colleagues, we have been going through the process of rationalization to reconvene. And the tendency for these MDAs to create a persona different from public service, where a person working in NDA while a public servant can get 45 days of leave, but a person in this ministry is getting 21 days of leave. So we are saying no. The rules must be consistent across public service. There may be specific aspects attached to that, but they will also be handled in accordance with the public service rules. So we are not creating another public service. We want to maintain a single public service. So we propose that the clause remains that the board shall make rules in conformity as may be applicable with the Uganda Public Service Standing Orders to regulate the appointment and release of these persons. We beg to submit.
It stands part of the bill, not so? Yes.
I agree with the Attorney General.
Withdraw your proposal. You withdraw.
Honourable Chair, I withdraw my proposal.
and concede.
And I concede with AG.
Thank you. I put a question that clause 13 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 14.
14, I put a question that clause 14 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 15.
I put a question that clause 15 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 16.
I put the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 17.
I put a 17 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 18.
I put a question that clause 18 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 19.
I put a question that clause 19 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 20.
Chair.
Clause 20 is amended in subclause 1 by substituting for the words as soon as practicable, but not less than 6 months for the words within 3 months. Justification. To promote timely reporting and enhance accountability by requiring submission of the annual report within 3 months after the end of the financial year. I beg to submit.
Right, Honorable Speaker, we agree with the proposal as made by the committee.
I put a question that clause 20 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 20 as amended.
I put a question that clause 20 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 21.
Chair.
Clause 21. In subclause 1, by inserting immediately after the word notified, the word listed. In B, by substituting the subclause 3, B, by substituting for subclause clause 3 the following. Notwithstanding subsection 1, the authority may, for a specified purpose and subject to conditions the authority may deem fit, authorize the manufacture, importation, exportation, distribution, supply, or dispensation of drugs which is not registered, notified, or listed by the authority. A, where the drug is required for authority for purposes of registration, notification, or listing of the drug under this Act. B, where the drug is required for purposes of conducting a clinical trial. C, with respect to importation, where the drug is imported for personal use. D, where the drug is required for compassionate use. E, where the drug is required under extraordinary circumstances as may be prescribed in regulations under this Act. F, where the drug is required for approved scientific education and research. In subclause 8, paragraph A, by substituting for the words 3,000, the words 10,000. Paragraph B, by the words 5,000. Justification. The amendment for listing as an additional regulatory mechanism is to ensure that the drugs which may not be subject to full registration are still brought under the supervision of the authority. Listing facilitates market oversight, traceability, and enforcement, while allowing a proportionate regulatory approach. The exemption on grounds of compassionate use allows timely access to drugs in exceptional cases of unmet medical needs, where the ordinary registration or notification process may cause harmful delay and the person is suffering from a life-threatening disease. The insertion of the provision of an application for the exemption to be prescribed by the regulation preserves regulatory control of the conditions and procedures by the authority. I beg to submit.
Reggie.
Right, Honorable Chair, this Act is being brought for purposes of regulating the use of drugs. So if you amend the clause to say that notwithstanding subsection 1, the authority may for a specified purpose and subject conditions the authority may deem fit authorize the manufacture, importation, exportation of drugs which are not listed things are, we understand the purpose that the committee is looking to give, but I would propose that we drop D and use E to cover D. If there is a drug that you'd like to use, at least let some regulation be put in place so we know how this drug is being used in Uganda. But when you say for compassionate use, it can be misused. So we agree with the proposed amendment by the committee, except the amendment to clause 25B, 21(3)D. I beg to submit.
I'm not sure whether you have addressed your mind to clause 21(8), the amendment, especially in increasing the currency for sentencing powers, because it may contradict the Law Reform Miscellaneous Provisions Act, where the number of imprisonment term corresponds to the currency notes. So I would pray that we retain what is in the bill as opposed to the proposed amendment.
Yes.
Right Honorable Chair, yes, I did address my mind to what was being proposed here, and it does not contravene the law reform miscellaneous provision. Right Honorable Chair, as I always said, the law reform miscellaneous provision do not in any way fetter the penalties. So it cannot be argued that because last week we gave you 5,000, this week we must give you 5,000. Parliament is at liberty to prescribe the appropriate penalty for that. And I think the increase of these currency points, because what you're dealing with here is a deterrent sentence. You want to deter people from attempting to use illicit drugs and import illicit drugs, because once consumed, they're extremely dangerous. That's what we're discussing here today. If the penalty for bringing these illicit drinks was high, then people would stay away from them. Sure. But because the penalties are still old and lax, so I propose that the proposal of the committee to that extent be upheld by the House.
Yes, Doctor.
Madam Speaker, I don't want to disagree with my Attorney General, but I would like to refer us to the definition of compassionate use before we delete it. Compassionate use, and it is in the interpretations, means the use of an unregistered drug or a drug under clinical investigation, which is not a clinical trial, for the treatment of a patient suffering from a serious or life-threatening condition where no satisfactory registered prevention or treatment is available in Uganda. And right on COVID, and also during the time of Sudan Ebola virus. And personally, I think it is useful to have it there, because if you have a life-threatening condition and there is a drug that is not registered, it is not under clinical trial, but we think
like
it can save you,
like then
why not give it to you?
Yes, Covidex then. Yes, AJ.
Right Honorable Chair, she's the doctor. I concede. Mine is to draft.
Thank you. I put a question that clause 21 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 21 as amended.
I put a question that clause 21 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 22.
Chair.
Honorable Chair, clause 22 is amended in subclause 5B by substituting for the words 5 years the words 10 years. Justification: to enhance the penalty for the manufacture of drugs without a license issued under this act. I beg to submit.
AJ.
We have no objection to the proposed amendment by the committee.
Clause 22 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 22 as amended.
I put a question that clause 22 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 23.
Chair.
Clause 23 is amended in subclause 6. In paragraph A, by substituting for the words 5,000, the words 10,000. And in paragraph B, by substituting for the words 5 years, the words 10 years. Justification: to enhance the penalty of distribution of drugs without license. Beg submit.
Minister, deterrent.
We are okay with it.
We have no objection.
I put a question that that clause 23 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 23 as amended.
I put a question that clause 23 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 24.
Chair.
Clause 24 is substituted for the following. 24. Authority shall establish and maintain a system of lot release of biologicals, vaccines, diagnostics, and other medicinal products. A person shall not release on the market a biological vaccine, diagnostic, or medicinal product unless the person has been issued with a certificate of lot release by the authority. 3. A person who intends to release a biological vaccine, diagnostic, or medicinal product on the market shall, upon payment of the prescribed fee, apply to the authority for a certificate of lot release. 4. The authority shall grant a certificate of lot release to a person who satisfies the requirements and the conditions prescribed by the regulations made under this Act, and may impose such conditions on the certificate as the authority may consider appropriate. And 5. A person who contravenes this section commits an offense and is liable on conviction: A, in the case of a corporate body, to a fine not exceeding 10,000 currency points, and B, in the case of an individual, to a fine not exceeding 5,000 currency points, or imprisonment not exceeding 5 years, or both. Justification: the substitution is to ensure clarity that the lot release system is to be established by the authority, to prescribe the process of applying for a certificate of release. Chair.
Minister.
No objection.
AG.
No objection, right, Honorable Chair.
I put a question that clause 24 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 24 as amended.
I put a question that clause 24 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 25.
25. Chair.
Clause 25 is amended in subclause 2 by one substituting for the words which is not registered the words without a license. 2. Inserting immediately after paragraph D the following: E, purposes of compassionate use. F, extraordinary circumstances as may be prescribed regulations under this Act. G, provide scientific education and research. B, by deleting subclause 6 and 7. In subclause 8, B, by substituting for the words re-export substituting for the words import the word export. D, by inserting immediately after subclause 9 the following: a person who imports a drug contrary to this section commits an offense and is liable on conviction A, in the case of a corporate body, to a fine not exceeding 10,000 currency points, and in the case of an individual, to a fine not exceeding 5,000 currency points, or imprisonment not exceeding 5 years, or both. Justification: to cater the situation of compassionate use of drugs and academic research purposes. 2, to establish legal responsibility for owners of vessels or vehicles to critically inquire into the legality of the drugs transported in their vessels. To provide for punishment as a way of deterring importation of drugs contrary to the provisions of this section. I beg to submit. Director Chair.
Honourable Minister.
Right, Honourable Chair. The proposed amendment tends to change the entire reading and meaning of this provision, because it says the principle is that you should have a license to import drugs. Now, subclause 2 says, notwithstanding subclause 1, the authority may, for a specified purpose, and authorize the importation of a drug which is not registered under this act, which is 4. So when you say without a license, it contradicts, because already the top part is saying you will be authorized by the authority. So I'm proposing that, yes, Right Honourable Chair, we do carry the amendments to 2E, F, and G, but we leave the chapeau at clause 2 to stand as it is in the bill. To read, notwithstanding subsection 1, the authority may, for a specified purpose and subject to the conditions the authority may deem fit, authorize the importation of a drug which is not registered under this act, where the importation is for those reasons. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Minister. Okay.
Madam Speaker, on clause 25 on the importation of drugs, I wanted to suggest that whereas we agree with the amendment of the committee, except for the proposal of the committee to delete subclause 6 of clause 25, I propose to amend clause 25 by substituting for subclause 6 the following: the authority may, in public interest, authorize the importation into Uganda of a drug or medical device by a person who is neither A, the holder of a certificate of registration, notification, or listing in respect of that drug or medical device, or in Uganda the holder of such certificate, where the drug or medical device has been lawfully placed on the market in the country of export. And then B, by substituting for subclause 9 the following: where a drug is imported into Uganda in contravention of this act and the importer cannot be traced, the authority may A, order the owner of the vehicle or vessel used in the importation of the drug to destroy the drug at the cost of the owner of the vehicle or vessel, or B, cause the drug to be destroyed at the cost of the authority where the owner of the vehicle or vessel used in the importation of the drug cannot be traced. I beg to submit.
AG.
Right Honourable Chair, the first part of the proposed amendment may be, we need to look at it, because it is saying the authority may, in public interest, authorize the importation into Uganda of drugs or medical device by a person who is neither the holder of a certificate of registration, notification. So we are writing into our law that we are going to breach rights.
But who defines public interest?
No, but we cannot say that even if it is in public interest and you know you need the drug, and you must use it with the authority of the owner.
Lawfully.
So you cannot write in the law and say, for us, if we want it, we shall authorize someone to bring it here. On the second part of the vessel being the interest to incur the cost, we have no objection to that.
What about where this B, cost of the drug to be destroyed at the cost of the authority, where the owner of the vehicle or vessel used in the importation of the drug cannot be traced? Why are you limiting to the owner?
Yes, right, Honorable.
What about the importer?
I think what this clauses come on the floor, but I think what they're saying is that if you import and we find you, you will be responsible for the cost. But if we do not find you, because that's the principle, that the person who brings the illicit product should incur the cost of destroying it. But the law is allowing NDA to destroy them at their cost. I think it would be more of an accounting issue when they come back to Parliament and say, we spent so much money in destruction of goods. We say, why wasn't the importer the one who incurred that cost? I think it's a good principle. Beg submit.
Yes.
Through you, I request the Attorney General to concede to the committee to the extent of only sub-clause 2, because it only seeks to open up the boundary to allow drugs that are for compassionate use to get into the country without a license. And then when we were in the committee, we also knew that Uganda as a country is training pharmacists and other related scientists, so they will also need drugs for the app to also allow for research and those other details. That is the wording that is within sub-clause 2. So to that extent, I pray that you agree to the amendment of the committee. Thank you very much.
You draft the way you want it to be.
Right, Honorable Chair, I agree with the principle
He agrees
that you
with
can import without a license.
Yes.
I just changed the drafting. But the principle is anyone who doesn't have a license can get authority from the NDA to bring the product. What I'm saying is that the drafting, when you change the drafting as has been proposed by the committee, it has a double negative, because you're saying on top you'll be authorized, and again you're saying without a license. So the principle is correct.
Thank you.
But the only change the Attorney General has not agreed to is substituting the word a drug that is not registered with the word license. Because what is, that's the gist.
Okay, I put a question that clause 25 be amended as proposed by the committee, amended by the Attorney General, and further amended by Isaac. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 25 as amended.
I put a question that clause 25 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 26.
Chair.
Clause 26 is amended in sub-clause 5. The words 3,000, the words 5,000. In paragraph B, by substituting for the words 500, the words 3,000. Justification: to enhance the penalty for importing of drugs for donation into contravention of this act.
We have no objection, right, Honorable Chair.
I put a question that clause 26 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. She told me she has no objection. You got the microphone.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the AG is advising me that instead of just standing up, I must always go on record. And I apologize to the AG. I will always be on record.
Okay.
I concur.
I put a question that clause 26 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 26 as amended.
I put a question that clause 26 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 27.
I put a question that clause 27 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 28.
Chair.
Clause 28 is amended in the head note by deleting the words wholesale or retail. the following. An application for a license to operate a pharmacy under this section shall specify the location of the pharmacy and shall comply with the minimum distance requirements prescribed by the regulations made under this Act. In subclause 6, in paragraph A, by submitting for the words 5,000, the words 10,000. In subclause B, by substituting for the words 500, the words 5,000. Justification: to empower the authority to regulate all forms of pharmacies. 2, to provide clear statutory basis for the authority to consider the location of the proposed pharmacy premises at the point of application, and to enforce minimum distance requirements through regulation. It also promotes orderly distribution of pharmacies, avoids undue clustering of outlets, and supports equitable access to pharmaceutical services. I beg to submit.
Minister. Honorable Minister. You first start. You're very harsh on this clause.
Yeah, we agree with the amendment in the head note of clause 28 to remove wholesale or retail, and to remove it everywhere it appears in this paragraph, because it also appears in clause 28(1). However, Right Honourable Chair, I am not sure that this issue of specifying locations at this point and distance, I think that's an administrative matter. The ND can deal with it at the time of licensing, and also we do not want to create disruption in already existing market. So let it be handled administratively. They can do regulations to handle that after due consultation. But this was not part of our government bill, and we propose that it be dropped. I beg to submit.
Honourable Minister.
Honourable Chair, we shall put it in the regulations.
Chair.
I concede.
Why were you so annoyed on this clause?
I'm not annoyed. I want to chair. At least I don't have a pharmacy.
I put a question that clause 28 be amended as proposed by the committee and further amended by the Attorney General. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. This law is for the local government. You come back. It is for local government. You are the consumer of this law. Yes.
Madam Chair, you had told us at 4 to go for prayers.
It is
it's almost 4.
Where 2 or 3 meet.
Clause 28 as amended.
I put a question that clause 28 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 29.
I put a question that clause 29 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 30.
Chair.
Clause 30 is amended by inserting immediately after the subclause 3 the following. The requirements for issuance of a certificate of suitability of premises shall be prescribed by regulations made under this Act. Justification. The proposed insertion provides a legal basis for prescribing the requirements for the issuance of a certificate of suitability of premises through regulations. It will also allow authority to establish a clear and flexible technical standards for premises used in regulated activities, what is to reflect evolving regulatory and safety
Right, Honorable Chair, we concede it's actually a good proposal so that everyone dealing with this knows the criteria to be used. I think it's fair.
Thank you.
I concur.
You have something?
It was not necessary because it is implied, but for purposes of being clear and unambiguous.
Clear, yes, clarity. I put a question that clause 30 be amended as proposed. Those in favor send the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 30 as amended.
I put a question that clause 30 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor send the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 31.
I put a question that clause 31 stands part of the bill. Those in favor send the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 32.
I put a question that clause 32 stands part of the bill. Those in favor send the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 33.
I put a question that clause 33 stands part of the bill. Those in favor send the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 34.
Chair.
Clause 34 is amended by inserting immediately before subclause 1 the following. A manufacturer, importer, exporter, distributor, or supplier of a drug shall cause the label of each drug to be a unique identifier for purpose of traceability as may be specification. The amendment introduces a unique identifier for each drug, which strengthens traceability for recalls, pharmacovigilance, and enforcement against diversion and counterfeits. Speak submit.
AG.
I have no objection to the proposed amendment.
Minister, you saw how those bottles were labeled.
Chair, I concur with the A.
Thank you.
If you put an obligation on an importer to put a label on a drug which has been manufactured elsewhere, won't that bring confusion? How will the importer now tamper with the existing label by a manufacturer outside the country? Why don't we leave this particular section as is? Because to me, the amendment may bring more complications in implementation than we thought they would.
Can't we bring in regulations for traceability, say batch number, or what?
Right, Honorable Speaker, we are introducing the GSI traceability tracker, and we need all these drugs to have a unique identifier, so that it's up to the beneficiary. That's why we need that amendment.
From the producer to. Okay. I put a question that clause 34 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor send the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 35.
35.
Clause 35 is amended in subclause 1 by substituting for paragraph A the following. Class A1 drugs, narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances, which shall only be dispensed on the prescription of the medical practitioner or dental practitioner for medical or dental purposes, and which shall be dispensed by a pharmacist. B, by substituting for paragraph B the following. Class A2 drugs, other prescription only drugs, which shall only be dispensed on the prescription of a medical practitioner or a dental practitioner for medical and dental purposes, and which shall be dispensed by a pharmacist. C, by substituting for paragraph C the following. Class B drugs, which may be dispensed by a pharmacist without a prescription of a medical practitioner or a dental practitioner. B, by starting immediately after subclause 2 the following. any drug contrary to this section commits an offense and shall be liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 3,000 currency points or imprisonment not exceeding 5 years or both. Justification: to create penalty provision to backstop compliance. Without an express penalty, enforcement is weak and deterrence is minimal for such a high-risk area. Clear penalties improve prosecutory certainty and consistent punishment. I submit.
Chair, we agree to the amendment.
AG.
I don't know, my experience with drugs is very limited. But since the doctor has said I concede.
I do not intend to drill you, but if you look at clause 98 of the bill, particularly 1B and C, it could by necessary implication apply to this provision. However, I leave it to you and the House.
Regulated products are not drugs. Regulated products include medical devices, cosmetics, nutritional supplements. So drugs are regulated separately. Thank you.
I put a question that clause 35 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 35 as amended.
I put a question that clause 35 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 36.
36, Chair.
Clause 36 is amended in subclause 4 by inserting immediately before the words any person the words subject to Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Control Act. Justification: to align the penalty under the Act with the penalty under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Control Act. I submit.
AG. Yes, Isaac.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to add an additional amendment to clause 36 by substituting for subclause 3 the following: a medical practitioner or dental practitioner shall not prescribe any narcotic drug or psychotropic substance used for medical or dental purposes other than a pharmacist shall not supply or dispense any narcotic drug or psychotropic substance used for medical or dental purposes other than for medical or dental purposes. The justification will be to clearly differentiate between the roles of prescription for medical or dental practitioners and that of supply or dispensing by the pharmacist. I beg to move.
Thank you.
I think we concede to the amendment by the committee and also the member. I think they've just clarified the distinction between the person who is dispensing and the person who is prescribing.
Okay. I put a question that clause 36 be amended as proposed by the committee and further amended by Honorable Isaac.
Right, Honorable, I wanted to concur with my Attorney General and be on record.
I put a question that clause 36 be amended as proposed by the committee and further amended by Honorable Isaac. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 36 as amended.
I put a question that clause 36 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 37.
Chair.
Clause 37 is amended by substituting for subclause 6 the following: 6 subsection 1 where the drug is supplied or dispensed, A, whether personally or on a signed order, 1, to a medical practitioner, dental practitioner, or a pharmacist, or 2, to a pharmacy for the purpose of the drug being subsequently supplied or dispensed or used for approved scientific education or research. B, from the dispensing department of an approved health unit to another department for purposes of the subsequently supplied or dispensed in accordance with regulations made under this Act. Justification. The insertion of the medical practitioner and dental practitioner is to cater for all the different personnel who are authorized under this Act to dispense Class A1 and A2 drugs. To cater for and allow legitimate institutional supply chains that operate on purchase orders rather than individual prescriptions. To align research procurements to the waiver mechanism so that research access does not undermine prescription controls. I submit.
Isaac?
Madam Chair, I would like to propose a further amendment on clause 7C, 37(6) in paragraph B by substituting for the word health unit the word health facility. The justification will be for proper referencing with the nomenclature. It's just a substitution of the word.
Yes, Doctor.
Honorable Chair, the Honorable Member is right because we are referring to a department in the health facility.
Okay. AG.
Right Honorable Chair, we concede to both the amendments by the committee and further amendment by the Honorable Member.
I put a question that clause 37 be amended as proposed by the committee and further amended by Honorable Isaac. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 37 as amended.
I put a question that clause 37 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 38.
38.
Clause 38 is amended A in the head note by deleting the words mixing. In subclause 2B2 by substituting for the word ingredient the word drug. And C by deleting subclause 4 and 5. Justification. The deletion of ingredient is because the dispenser under this clause is not obliged to know the ingredients in the drug dispensed. The practice of mixing and compounding drugs is no longer done at health care provision. I submit.
Doctor.
Right Honorable, we are happy with the amendments.
Okay. AJ.
I can see the committee is trying to reduce our employment levels because we had created a new person there between the pharmacist and the thing, but we concede to the amendment.
I put a question that clause 38 be amended as proposed by the committee. Those in favor send the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 38 as amended.
I put a question that clause 38 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 39.
Deletion.
Clause 39 is deleted. Justification. Promotion of regulated promotion is regulated alongside advertisement under clause 46 of the bill. Therefore, it would be repetitive. I submit.
Right Honorable, we agree to the amendment, to the deletion.
We concede the deletion, right Honorable Chair.
Thank you. I put a question that clause 39 be deleted. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 40.
Chair.
Clause 40 is amended in sub-clause 1 by substituting for the words medical practitioner, dental practitioner, or a pharmacist, the words a pharmacist or an authorized person registered or enrolled under the Nurses and Midwives Act or the Allied Health Professionals Act. Justification: the amendment is consequential to the amendments in clause 35 and clause 38. I submit.
Thank you, Minister.
Right Honorable, we concur.
AG.
Right Honorable Chair, we have no objection.
I put a question that clause 40 be amended as proposed by the committee. Those in favor sign the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 40 as amended.
I put a question that clause 40 as amended stands part of the committee. Those in favor sign the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 41.
I put a question that clause 41 stands part of the bill. Those in favor sign the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 42.
Isaac, you have amendment 42.
Madam Speaker, I wanted to propose an amendment on clause 42 by deleting subclause of the bill. The justification would be it is redundant since there is no reference to the word cell in the clause.
Chair, do you concede? Do you agree with that?
On the chair, I concede.
I put a question that clause 42 be amended. Doctor, do you agree with that?
Honorable Chair, I agree.
And AG?
I concede, Right Honorable Chair.
I put a question that clause 42 be amended as proposed by Honorable Isaac. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 42 as amended.
I put a question that clause 42 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 43.
I put a question that clause 43 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 44.
Chair.
Clause 44 is amended in subclause 2 by deleting the words and on its own decision. Justification: to avoid repetitive and redundant use of words. I submit.
Thank you, Isaac.
Madam Chair, I want to further amendment on clause 44, subclause 1, by deleting the words or listing holder of a drug. The justification is for clarity since the sector has no such nomenclature.
Doctor?
Madam Chair, we agree to both the chair of the committee and to the honorable member.
AG?
Right Honorable Chair, I think the only challenge I would have with the amendment 44.2, I think when we say the authority may where it deems fit and on its own decision, I think we are saying that the authority may move itself. So it doesn't have to wait for someone to report. So if the authority knows that or has information that something is going wrong, so I think I propose that clause 44.2 stands as part of the bill.
Well, the intention is good and clear. The only challenge is, do we have remedies for the licensee holders affected, especially where the authority decides to make a decision on already have, and yet have a license to trade that drug, if there are any provisions.
Right Honourable Chair and Honourable colleagues, any person who is aggrieved by the decision of the authority can proceed under Part 13. Again, Part 13 is on legal proceedings and administrative enforcement. There are provisions for that. The issue here is that if you say that the NDA, the authority can only move if it is moved by someone, then that means even if they see something wrong, they cannot act until someone moves them. Now, this provision is extremely important to tell them that it is not about who tells you. It is your responsibility to supervise and surveil the market.
Thank you. They will actually be exercising an oversight role. I put a question that Clause 44 be amended as proposed by the committee and further proposed by Honorable Isaac and further amended by the AG. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 44 as amended.
I put a question that Clause 44 as amended stands part of the bill. The ayes have it.
Clause 45.
Chair.
Clause 45 is amended in subclause 3. In paragraph A, by substituting for the words 10,000, the words 150,000. In paragraph B, by substituting for the word 5,000, the words 20,000, and the words 5 years, the words 15 years. Justification. The amendment in subclause 3 is to enhance the punishment, since wrong advancement of regulated products could mislead consumers to make uninformed decisions which could lead to fatal results. I submit.
Yes, Professor.
Clarification from the chair. From the above, you have been consistently giving 10 years as enough and or adequate deterrent. So what makes you move from 10 to 15? Your justification is not really convincing. Honorable Yonga, what is the justification moving from the consistency of 10 years?
Grave. Deception is grave.
Thank you, Honorable.
It is a grave crime.
Deceiving, this is an era of commission. And you might deceive and you kill a whole constituency. So that's why I'm putting this very big penalty.
You're right. Doctor?
Right Honorable, life is extremely important and there is only one life. So whoever intentionally deceives consumers should be heavily punished. So we agree with the amendment.
Thank you. I put a question. I put a question that clause 45 be amended as proposed. Those in favor stand the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 45 as amended.
I put a question that clause 45 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor stand the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 46.
46, Chair.
Clause 46 is amended in subclause 2 by inserting a new paragraph immediately after paragraph C as follows: giving free samples, sponsorship, or promotion of a drug. In subclause 4, in paragraph A, by substituting for the words 5,000, the words 100 In paragraph B, by substituting for the word 3,000, the words 20,000. And for the words 5 years, the words 15 years. Justification. To enhance the punishment since forced advancement of drugs directly affects the decision of consumers and consumption of drugs based on forced advancement could lead to fatal results. I submit.
Doctor? Doctor?
Right Honourable, we are happy with the amendment.
AG?
Right Honourable Chair, I thought I was a proponent for very tough penalties, but this committee, I concede.
I put a question that is clause 46 be amended as proposed by the committee. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 46 as amended.
I put a question that clause 46 be amended as stands part of the part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 47.
Chair.
Clause 47 is amended, subclause 5. In paragraph A, by submitting for the words 20,000, the words 150,000. In paragraph substituting for the words 5,000, the words 20,000. Justification. To enhance the punishment since falsification of drugs directly affects the decision of consumers and consumption of such product should lead to fatal results. I submit.
Minister. Honourable Minister.
Honourable Chair, we agree.
AG.
We agree.
I put a question that clause 47 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 47 as amended.
I put a question that clause 47 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 48.
Chair.
Clause 48 is amended by deleting subclause 4. In subclause 5, in paragraph A, by substituting for the words 5,000, the words 150,000. In subclause B, by substituting for the words 3,000, the words 20,000. And for the words 5 years, the words 15 years. Justification. The deletion of the definition of not fit for intended purpose is a subclause. In subclause 4, is defined in interpretation section. Enhance the punishment since deception of consumers directly affects the decision of consumers and consumption of each product could lead to fatal results. I submit.
Thank you. Minister.
Honourable Chair, we agree with the penalties.
AJ.
No objection to proposed amendment.
I put a question that it be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 48 as amended.
I put a question that clause 48 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 49.
So it is only Gabriel who is answering. You're all busy watching the TV. $49. I put a question that clause 49 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 50.
Chair.
Clause 50 is amended in the head note by inserting immediately after the words clinical trials, the words for drugs. In subclause 1, by inserting immediately after the words clinical trial, the words for a Clause 2, by substituting for the words trial, appearing at the end of the clause the words clinical trial. D, by inserting immediately after subclause 9 the following. This section should not apply to clinical trial of a drug conducted by the ministry in public interest. Notwithstanding subsection 1, the ministry shall, while conducting a clinical trial of a drug, conduct the clinical trial in accordance with good clinical practices prescribed by regulations made under this Act. Justification. To facilitate seamless execution of the mandate of the Minister of Health. 2, to clarify, since the clause is clinical trial, not field trial. I submit. Item Chair.
Minister.
Honorable Chair, we accept the amendment.
AG.
No objection to the proposed amendment.
I put a question at clause 50. Be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 50 as amended.
I put a question at clause 50 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the, stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 52.
52.
Clause 52 is amended A, by substituting for subclause 2 the following. The authority may, where it deems necessary, request the person referred to in subsection 1 to conduct for the drugs a safety study, an efficacy study, or both. B, by inserting immediately after subclause 3 the following. The authority shall, upon approval of the pharmacovigilance system, issue a certificate of good manufacturing practices.
Isaac.
Madam Chair, I wanted to propose a further amendment on clause 53 by substituting the clause for the following. A responsible officer who, in the course of his or her professional duties, becomes aware of an adverse event or adverse reaction shall, without delay, report the matter to the authority and submit verified information in the form prescribed by regulations made under this Act. And then 2, on the same clause 53, in this section, responsible of health facility or institution to receive, verify, and transmit reports of adverse events and adverse drug reactions under this Act.
Isn't that operational? Or don't it come in regulations? AG.
This will make it more clear.
No, let's not mix legislation with regulations.
I think, Right Honourable Chair, you may be correct. The obligation is there to report.
Yes.
How the mechanism can be done through.
That is operational, actually.
I concur with the AG.
Thank you. I put a question that clause 53 be amended as proposed by the committee. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 53 as amended.
I put a question that clause 53 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 54.
Chair.
Clause 54 is substituted for the following. 1. The authority shall establish a pharmacovigilance analyzing the adverse reactions and other events of a drug. The authority shall share information on adverse reactions and adverse events and remedial action taken with regional and international safety monitoring systems. The justification, to create an obligation for the authority to establish a mechanism of receiving information on adverse reactions and adverse events, since the authority is not involved in actual management of the patients. I submit.